Hello, hello, hello. We are back at it again, episode 6 of the pregame.
Yes, for
number...
my Latin speakers.
What Spanish number can you count to, actually?
I can count to infinity.
No, you can't.
Mm-hmm. You want to see me?
I think you go to like 20
this
and then you go.
Oh, this will be the podcast. All right. Uno, dos.
How do you even say infinity?
Infinity?
Mm-hmm. What is that in Spanish?
El infinito. Wait, am I right though?
Close. I think it's infinidad.
You don't even know!
I think it's infinidad.
Infinidad?
To infinidad and beyond.
Anyway, sorry, I derailed you. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. It is a Wednesday this time. We are drinking some good old rosé. We're ready to talk about our next city, Chicago.
Chi-town.
Chi-town. So last time we left on all of our West Coast, Midwest.
Mostly West Coast and Midwest, right?
Yeah.
But mostly West Coast.
Our Vegas near-death experience.
Yep.
Then we finally make it to beautiful Colorado.
We did Southeast too. We haven't really done any northern cities.
No. So this was the most northern.
At this point.
Yeah, at this point.
Trips.
So we are now, I think it's October 7th, right? Like right after my birthday.
I think it's October 7th at 1:10 and 39 seconds.
We didn't celebrate my birthday together, but I think I came like the day after.
You're right, we didn't. Yeah, why was that? Because we were going to try and schedule it. Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah, I think it was that, and I think it was also like my last birthday in LA. Like, let me just spend it there, and then I'll come like the day after. We're not doing this again. We are not doing this again.
If you want to see a consistent trend in our relationship,
if you listen to episode 4.
Laylee likes to do the big moments in her life not with me.
I love how you're twisting that. I think some would call me independent, but we'll talk about that in another episode.
Or a shitty girlfriend.
Okay, you know I love my birthday more than anything.
Yeah, which means you don't want to spend it with me.
I think it was a mutual decision.
Because you don't love me more than anything, which is good to know. Fucking victim number 1.
Oh my god.
Numero uno.
I think you wanted me to not come on my birthday.
I would love for you to always come on your birthday, baby. Because I'm a great boyfriend. Shout out me. Anyway.
I hope you can hear that.
Wait, but for real. Okay, so you wanted to do it. No, did you have a friend in town? What was the deal?
Denise and Sandrita. But
yes,
that wasn't planned.
That's right.
That literally happened.
You heard it,
2
folks.
weeks before, baby. You remember?
She chooses her friends.
It was super random. You know it.
Ultimatum. We're watching that. Ultimatum.
My
ultimatum isn't even to get married and have kids. No, none of that bullshit. Just choose me over your friends sometime.
Baby. Okay, so my birthday was on October 6th. We got to Chicago October 8th on Friday.
Yeah.
That is when we both landed.
Uh-huh.
You got there before me. So a good thing, so this is different. This was our first, right? Our first city that we didn't have a car. We didn't I didn't fly to Atlanta and then we took a road trip to our city, or Will didn't fly to LA and then we took the road trip. It was like we were both on our own, flying to Atlanta, got our luggage.
Midwest.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, it was great because it was like, oh, dude, we're used to 15 hours, right? 16 hours
Oh, we
in
were
the car.
so excited. Also, at this point, it's October.
Yeah.
We've done the whole year of road trips. I think we're pretty fucking over it at this point, right?
Just a little bit.
Like, we did it. We
did
it.
We're done. We did it.
Let's fly.
Yeah, and my flight was like an hour and a half from Atlanta, but yours was like 3, I think, from LA.
I think it was like 4.5,
4?
but
Really?
it was fine. It was fine. It was easy. Versus a 15-hour road trip.
I know, right? Yeah. You got movies to watch.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, and snacks.
Yeah. So we also knew Chicago is a city where you don't need a car and you don't necessarily... Yeah, you don't really have to drive. Like, I know some people have cars, but it's kind of like... Pointless. It's kind of like when people have a car in New York.
Yeah.
Like, sure, that's cool if you're going, like, I don't know, to get groceries or something. But what about the other 95% of the time? Like, you don't need it.
Right. And so this is my first time ever going to Chicago.
Oh, yeah. It's my 4th. I love that city.
She loves it.
I love it.
I've only heard amazing things always about Chicago. Everybody I've ever met was like, dude, if anything, you gotta check it out, dude.
Yeah. I also have like one of my closest girlfriends, shout out Kat, who is from Chicago, so I've always been with her. But yeah, I was so excited for you to see it. Like, you love New York, right? So I was always like, you're gonna love Chicago.
East Coast all day. No, Chicago is great. I mean, so we get there and it's like...
I was honestly a little worried. Sorry to cut you off. I was a little worried that you were gonna have too high expectations because everyone was telling you, like, you're gonna love it. I was like, oh my God, you love New York. I think Chicago... Not that it's better, but I just like... I would live in Chicago way longer than I would live in New York, if that makes sense. Like, that's more of like a long-term city for me.
Yeah, you would live in Chicago, but you would visit New York.
Sure.
It's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
In a cleaner, more condensed way.
Let me think about that.
No, you know I'm right.
But we get there, we get to our Airbnb. No, we don't get to our Airbnb. This is important.
I got a great story.
This is the first time we don't have an Airbnb. So we usually go that route. It's just easy, convenient, expensive as shit. But like, you feel safe. Like, I'm going to get there and I'm going to have a place.
Right, which is what every brand tries to build, is trust in a consumer. And so we have trust with Airbnb. But there's other services. So we had another one. Basically, I was filming a short film in my friend's house, and he was renting it out through a service called Furnish Finder, which is, at the time, it was specifically for like traveling nurses. And I was like, well, I can easily lie, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm an unregistered nurse, easy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Which is a whole category of nurses.
It's just like that was that was the audience that they were targeting, but they were like, we don't care. We want everybody obviously to rent through our service, right? If you got money, who gives a shit what your job is, right? They don't care. Yeah. And it's usually cheaper because I think it's because the taxes are different for Airbnb charges the most, because also Airbnb is like such a global thing, so. Federally and statewide, like, you just have to pay so much more. So it's way cheaper, but it is like you're talking to a guy named Marv.
But we love Marv.
We love Marv.
But in the beginning, it was weird.
It's just kind of weird. You don't trust it because you're like, okay, it's going to be a lot of thousands of dollars to a dude that I don't know.
Okay, but a big thing. Let's get into that, actually. I think this is interesting for people if they are listening to us.
Yeah.
For like travel advice.
Sure.
Not that this is what this podcast is, but we are doing that. Anyway, so a big difference is you have to sign a lease versus Airbnb. Like, that is also a great selling point. Like, boom, boom, booked, you know? So we have to sign a lease.
Yeah.
Then we have to pay this guy, and we're like, we don't know if you're real. Like, we have Will's dad doing like FBI checks on him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's crazy. I think he's the leader of Antifa, but we'll talk about that.
He's like, he gave us a green light, though. This guy, like, didn't he go to, like, Harvard or something? And was, like,
not
part
Harvard.
of a I don't know.
But he was legit-ish.
He seemed legit.
He was enough. He was just like an old guy renting out stuff.
Turns out he was way more trusting of us than we were of him.
So much.
So we signed the lease, and he, like, works it out so that we pay him in person, you know? Like, we don't have to send anything in advance. And then he calls me. He's like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. My wife, her live stream. Also, this guy's like, I don't know, 68. What do you think?
Maybe like 73. No, yeah, I think
even worse.
Yeah.
He's 73, sweet little old man. He calls me. He's like, my wife's dream is to go on a hot air balloon in Albuquerque,
which is adorable.
And
two old people.
There's a huge festival the weekend you guys get there. And I'm not going to be able to be there when you guys check in.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that sounds so great. And he's like, no, like, she will divorce me if I don't go on this trip.
I believe it. That is a great story.
Like, he was so scared, Like, I have to go on this trip. I'm so sorry. Like, so apologetic. So he's like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mail you the keys so you guys have it. So he mailed us the keys like a month and a half before. he mailed it to Will's parents' house because I live in LA in like a apartment where they steal everything from me. Apartment building.
Yes. And also I was going to get there first. I think we knew that.
Right.
But also, yeah, it's LA, so everyone, if you got a package just laying out, someone's going to fucking take it.
Yeah.
Welcome
but that
to LA.
was just such a funny experience because we were like low-key like, God, this guy sounds great, but also we're terrified because it's like, do we even have a place to stay in when we get there?
Right.
But you got there, you showed me videos, it was great, it was huge.
So big. So, also, it was one of those things where we're terrified that we're like, okay, well, at least we got a friend to figure this out.
There a few days,
but
worst case.
It was kind of stressful because it was like, he sent the keys and I was like, all right, cool. Once again, it's like we're living in LA for too long, so I'm like, someone's trying to pull a fast one on me.
Yeah.
This doesn't add up.
I'm like, we got keys to what?
Also,
these are just keys.
He gave us a discount.
Oh yeah, because we wanted his one bedroom, but it was booked, even though he hadn't changed that on the website, Furnish Finder. So he was like, oh, but I have the 2-bedroom available, and I'm like, we don't need that. So he gives a really good discount. Marv was great. He like honestly kind of put my standards to Furnish Finder really high.
Yeah.
And so we just had a weird experience. I don't know if we want to touch on that, but when we were trying to book Furnish Finder for Miami, like present day, it was like the opposite of that. Like it was like, pay me $5,000 now.
That was weird.
Right now, you gotta Venmo me now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
no,
what?
We're not gonna do that.
I don't even know if this is a real place.
Right, which honestly they could have been legit, but it goes back to like, this is what, you just gotta figure it out, right? So it's like Airbnb is a trusted service, like you can literally, you can sue them. But that's why that's why they cost the most now.
Totally.
It's like they don't have a competitor, and it could be as simple as trust, which is annoying. But there are other deals out there. That's really the gist of this, is you can find deals.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it through Airbnb. It's just more of like a roll the dice. But is it? I don't know. It could be in your head. But ours played out way cheaper because we were looking at Airbnb and we're like, okay, we're going to have to spend like $1,000 more to live, I don't know, way further away again.
We also had just done Denver, and we told you guys, like, we were like 20 minutes out in a basement. Like, we didn't want a repeat of that. You know, like, we want to be in the city. We're going to splurge. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
And Furnish Finder came through. So we ended up being in Old Town.
Well, you know why we wanted to splurge?
Why?
Because I wanted to pay for your birthday experience.
Oh.
That didn't happen.
Baby.
Because you... No, anyway.
That's
not
so
to bring it back to
sweet.
me. Anyways, we get there. We're in Old Town.
Old Town.
Let's go. It was cool. Old Town, Chicago. It's not in. It's called Old Town, but it's not like the old. Or is it the old part of town? I don't think it's the old part of town.
So I think it's what like the downtown used to be, and then it like moved like a few miles.
Okay, it's literally the old town. Anyway, so we get there. Also, here's the thing: is Marv? We got to pay him with a cashier's check. Obviously, duh. We're gonna do that. Not a problem.
I've never gotten a cashier's check in my life.
Better than cat. Like at least he wasn't like, bring me, X in cat, thousands of dollars in cash.
A lot, guys.
Yeah, so he said cashier check. And we're like, yeah, no worries. Or he said bank order. So first what we did is we went to a Western Union.
Oh my god.
Which I've never done, but I knew there was one down the street. And obviously
Who uses those? Literally, how are they in business?
It's drug dealers or, come on, you're Cuban. Immigrants wiring money.
Immigrants and drug dealers, how are they in business?
But guess what? There's enough to make
my family, that's how we send money to Cuba.
Western Union. Completely legal.
Like, my mom made me download the app. I'm like, what am I doing with the Western Union app?
WU. Anyway, they were like, we charge, it's only for small transfers, right? So it's like $500 or less because they charge like $10. I don't know. We did the math and we're like, we're going to have to pay another $200 just to get this money, which once again is bullshit. So we're like, we're both, well, I'm Wells Fargo. You are too.
Yeah, we both are.
Yeah, we're both Wells Fargo.
What are the odds of that? I kept talking about that because
I'm
like, I feel like I don't really meet Wells Fargo people. It's like Chase. Meet all the Chase people,
There's
Bank
Chase,
of America.
Yeah, and then there's Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo runs shit in America now.
I don't know.
It does. It's not that weird.
Really?
It's not weird.
Have you asked your friends? Do
Yeah.
you look at their cards when they
Every
pull it
single
out?
person I meet, I go, "What are you?" And they go, "Wells Fargo."
Oh, that's an Atlanta
you don't do
shit
that?
then.
I'm kidding, baby. Don't do that. Are you serious? That's weird. Anyway, so FYI for those Wells Fargo people out there, Chicago has none of them.
In the city of Chicago.
No ATMs, no
There's no
banks.
Wells Fargo.
There's zero, which is crazy to me.
In a big city,
Huge
metropolitan city in the United States,
Top
there
10,
is not
right?
a Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
You gotta go to
Evanston, Illinois. So we're like, okay, we're gonna have to really go to the suburbs to get this cashier's check. Because we gotta get it.
Wasn't it? It was like a total 50-minute like adventure.
One way, yeah.
Like it was like we had to take a train for 30 minutes and then we still had to walk for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, we had to walk a mile and a half. One way.
And it was like this guy was meeting us at 2, so it's like we did it like not early in the morning, but like say like 11. So we haven't eaten anything because.
Well, first of all, we're walking and we're like, we're the only white people here.
Let's acknowledge that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
I just like to say it because I'm like, you know that.
Yeah. Well,
Literally,
guess what?
Where are we?
It's also the vice versa. Black people, when they're just surrounded by white people, they know they're the only black person, right? So it don't matter, right? If you're like just surrounded, you're like, shit. All right, we're the only white people. Not that it's weird, but it was a thing.
Not that it's weird, but we are in Chicago.
We're woke. We're so woke.
But we are in Chicago.
Yeah, Chi-town.
Like
yeah.
it's very dangerous if you go to like the south
side. Right.
It's
Well,
like
which
a
also,
completely different experience.
Here's a big picture thing too about traveling is every time you go to a new city, like I'm from Atlanta, so it's like I lived in the hood and the ghetto and all that bullshit, and so it's like you know where not to go and when to go and where to go, right? All that.
Right.
So you just learn that through people, but it's like when you keep going to new cities, it's like when you hear about dumb fucking people who get kidnapped,
And
it's like it's like us walking through some stupid neighborhood trying to get a fucking cashier's check.
Trying to go to Wells
Yeah.
Fargo.
So I'm super
at 11 a.m. on a Monday.
Right. We try and go, like, well, I'm like, the sun's got to be up. It's got to be directly ahead of
so
us.
early.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want no shadows nowhere. All right. And so we're going there, and there's of course like some in Evanston, Illinois. Right. There's a big dude. We're all it's a sidewalk. There's some big ass dude, and I'm like, he's just staring at us.
I'm like, don't make contact. Don't make contact.
I'm like, well, I have to check. I have to look just to make sure.
You're always looking. That's great.
I'll look. Anyway.
I'm like, ignore.
So we get closer to this dude, and he's like, probably because I'm white, but he was like, hey, we should play tennis sometime. I'm like, oh, word? And he goes, yeah, I'll pass you with that Joko, which is like, I was like, oh, he's talking about Djokovic. He's like, I got that. I was like, you got a 2-hand backhand like that?
It's 11:30 a.m. in the middle of the street. Why does he think you play tennis?
Because I'm white. I said that.
I know, but why?
But also, I do play tennis.
Why does he play tennis?
I don't know.
This was a big guy. This wasn't like...
He wasn't
just tall.
Yeah, he was tall, but he's kind of...
like, he was...
he had mental issues, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was all good. He was just an aggressively nice person.
Yeah.
He was definitely aggressive as fuck.
Tennis.
I mean, it was not like a, hey, you want to play tennis sometime? He was like, hey, motherfucker, you want to play tennis? And we're like, God damn, bro. Like, you want to like, it's a weird thing to go, hey, you want pancakes, bitch? And you're like, yeah. Anyway, so...
Back to our neighborhood, though,
we give it to Marv. Marv got the check. Great guy. We met him in person. Fantastic dude.
Sweetheart.
We live in Old Town, Chicago.
Yeah, so just a bunch of, like, restaurants and bars. Like,
pubs.
It's also the first place we stayed at, which we fucking loved, where it's, like, literally...
in the middle.
The next corner is a bar.
Yeah.
And a restaurant. And a bar.
And a bar.
Restaurant.
A lot of bars.
You know? Like, it was like we've never been that in it, I feel like.
No. Well, it's like you can maybe say Portland. We could walk to it, but it's like, but Portland's also small.
Right. But this was like,
yeah,
I can see the bar.
We can hear the bar.
I can hear the bar. Yeah. How was that?
Well,
how was that at nighttime?
Well, so we had a 2-bedroom and it was dope, and it wasn't necessarily loud, but it's like, I'm a light sleeper.
I'm not.
She is not at all. This girl, there can be a genocide happening next to her, and she's gonna.
I would wake up a little.
A little bit. You just go.
Yeah, they always do that. I'd be like.
and then you go back to sleep. But I'm like wide awake. Anyway, there's there every night I just hear like hollering, right? But not like bad hollering, you know, not like someone's getting hurt hollering, but
no,
like
they're having so much fun.
Drunk friends hanging out hollering. Probably what this whole podcast sounds like. Just hollering in a good way, right?
But also, no matter what night it was, like, of course, it was heightened on the weekend, but like on a Wednesday night, you would also hear it.
I don't hear it on the weekend because we're out.
True.
I hear it on like a Tuesday when I'm trying to go to sleep. Yeah. You know?
Also, we hear a lot of ambulances, right? Like, we're like, oh, we're in the city now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's weird because it's like Chicago to me is like an East Coast city, but it's not on the East Coast. It's really weird how that works. But
Midwest.
Yeah, which I'm like, but come on, you're East Coast.
Eastern.
You're East Coast. Detroit, I don't know, but Chicago, you feel East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in a city. That's what a city sounds like.
No, but also there's a whole show called The Chicago Fire. It's like Grey's Anatomy, but about Chicago firemen.
No one watches that.
Everybody knows it if you watch ABC.
Yeah, who watches that? Oh, yeah, ABC. Yeah, old
Anybody
moms.
who watches Grey's Anatomy watches ABC.
No,
Shonda Rhimes.
Shout out.
Chicago fires are a big thing.
Anyway,
I just want to say that.
I know, and it's not.
So
but
ambulances,
yeah,
but it was more of like a big city vibe.
Right. So people went out every night. I've been living on the West Coast for too long, and we went to Denver. And we talked about this also. So people don't drink at all, really. Obviously Chicago, people fucking drink, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm like, goddamn right.
Every night we're like,
it makes me
what
feel
are you guys doing?
Drinking, having a hollerific time.
So we're always like kind of looking out the window, right? During the week. Like,
we're like,
we want to be one of those people that we hear, you know? So I feel like one day finally we were like, let's go out there on like a Wednesday. So remember?
Oh yeah.
We went out and it was chill, super chill. Like one of the bars we always see on our street. It was so chill.
It wasn't chill.
It was normal.
It was still
but
like.
But then it shifted.
Well, even before that, we were like, obviously there was like a young couple on a first date. It's funny I say young, but you know what I'm saying. It's like 23.
Yeah. Taking shots on a Tuesday at 9 p.m.
That's what I was going to get at. They're
just taking shots.
Yeah, it's like 9:30.
On a first date.
And so
they
we're
were
like
totally awkward with each other, but
not after those
shots will.
Not after those, yeah. So we're chilling. We get a booth. It's one of those, and we're just having a good time.
We're like, you want to take shots?
And we're like, yeah, I think it was like, I dare you. And it was like, we both were like, I'm not going to do that dare. Duh. I'll get another IPA. I'm going to chill.
Let's pretend it's our first date.
Anyway, so it's like, it comes to like 11, maybe 11:30 even.
Yeah.
And this bar, out of nowhere, just fills the fuck up.
We're like literally on like our last beer, like probably like a third is left. Like we're like getting ready to leave.
Here's the thing. Everyone that came through that door was youngest early 30s. Deep 30s to early 40s. And you're like, where the fuck did y'all just come from? It's 11:30. They go, our table, round of shots.
Yeah, I think they all got babysitters.
You think they have kids? They don't have kids.
You said
they
30s,
look like
early 40s.
They look like they have kids, but they also look like they're not. Everyone there was not in a couple.
Okay, but
yeah.
So I'm scratching my head because I'm like, how do I say this? None of my friends have kids, really, right?
Really? What is? That's a good. Just in case.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like most of your friends, obviously, there's an age difference between us, so most of your friends are like married. You're so cool, babe. But anyway, what I'm getting at is honestly, I feel like I've learned going out with your friends this whole like they have to get a babysitter. Like in Austin is what I'm really getting
Yeah,
at.
these dumb fucking 1-year-olds can't fucking eat
No, they
for
have
themselves.
to get a babysitter.
Yeah, they have to get a
then
babysitter.
They go hard as shit at the bar. Whatever bar they're at.
On a Wednesday.
They're gonna take shots. They're gonna black out. Like, that is their one night.
Yeah.
To do it, you know?
Yeah. But it's a Wednesday. Anyway, they were going hard as fuck. And we're like, all right, we're tapping out. I wish we would have went late into the night, but we didn't.
But we didn't.
And we don't have kids. So that was one thing that we were just right in it to win it.
We were.
We were right in it to win it.
That.
Yeah.
Yes, we were.
It just came out. So, okay. So you're great at planning, which makes all of this possible in a lot of ways.
I'm getting so many compliments on this
Yeah,
episode.
but you also choose your friends over me. But
okay. And that.
Yeah. Shout out friends. They're great though. I love them.
But back to I plan so much.
But we what all did we do?
What all did we do?
There's a lot of things in Chicago to do besides just drink and eat.
So we got a Groupon, I remember, so that we can get a lot of the activities for cheaper. There's so much to do, you have to get one of those.
Shout out Groupon.
Sponsor us, please. This is actually the one I really want.
Fucking duh. Sponsor us.
Please sponsor us.
We have so many groups.
Talk about you all day long.
All groups all day.
We love activities.
Yeah.
And food and dining.
Okay.
And vacations.
What all we do?
These are all their categories.
We booked. Yeah, that's right. Anyway. Absolutely.
So we got a Groupon for Chicago because there's so many, like, I guess let's call them touristy things.
Yeah, I was
to
like,
do.
that's it, the big T.
We got to do the touristy things there, especially because Will has never been. So, number one, we got to hit the Sky Deck. We got to.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, standing on top of this glass, looking like, I don't know how many thousands of feet down.
So, my experience of that was like, you gotta wait in line for like, it was just weird. It was just
You're the real deal. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As a person that works in marketing and commercial, whatever the fuck, like I always roll my eyes and I kind of hate it when I feel like it's all set up for consumers. And it is. I don't like that.
Well, they're just trying to make you enjoy the line.
Anyway, so before you even get there, because you sign up, you're like, man, I just paid $20. How much was it?
I don't remember.
On
we
a
got
Groupon?
the Groupon.
Yeah. Whatever. Even on the Groupon, I still was like, what the fuck? Let's say it was $20. So, and you're just going to go to the glass thing that hangs off of a building. Like
and
that's
you only get like how many seconds?
We'll get there. But that's all you got, right? Anyway, that's all you're really trying to get. And before you even do that, they're like, well, to make it, I guess, count, is we're going to walk you through the history of Chicago. And we're like, we don't give a fuck about this, dude. Anyway, and so you finally get there, and they're like, you have 7 seconds to take your selfie, and we're going to fucking light you. Like, we're going to flash you, go, get the fuck out, because it's on the line.
Yeah, and we're like, we need selfies, and then couple photos, and then single photos. And then, can you move?
Can you move? Can you give us direction? Like, I need a mood.
Can you get on the floor
this
and
is
take it
bullshit,
up?
And angled down, all that.
No, yeah, they were definitely very like, next.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying. But it's also, I mean, it is one of those.
But it was really cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, fuck, this is so cool, though.
That's what you pay for.
Yeah.
Another thing we did was the architecture boat tour. That was really fun.
Super fun.
That was super touristy, but like worth it for sure.
Yeah, I would say if there's one thing that I'm like, I don't know anything necessarily about architecture or like building design of a city and stuff, but it's like that tour does make you go. Because also I mean, Chicago has a lot of pretty buildings. Like, it is set up like that. Like,
it is an architectural city.
Like, I wouldn't have enjoyed it if it wasn't only Chicago. I would enjoy that tour. Does that make sense?
So why, actually?
Because it's pretty. Why. I mean, it's like, because I think that tour guide that we had, he'd been doing it for like 30 years.
Yeah, he loved his job.
He was kind of like a lot. Like, you go, man, that's You know, good for you, man. Good.
He should have been an actor, but we love it.
I think
on
you
the tour,
tried to be,
yeah.
and then this is what happens. You know, this is my biggest fear.
Well, I think it's so beautiful. I think because of the difference in like such modern buildings with like the older style of architecture. Like I feel like Chicago does that so perfectly.
Yeah.
And my architecture friends can speak on it way better than I can. But the boat tour is fun because it is so beautiful to look at. Like I remember we were all taking pictures.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, we need to stop. Every picture looks amazing.
It looks so dope.
But also, you're on a boat on this beautiful day drinking wine on the deck. Like, it's a fun time.
It's also like a river, it's a river, right?
Yeah.
That goes right through the middle of the city.
Yeah.
Like right, and you're like, this is so pretty.
Yeah, yeah. But another thing we did was is it called the Chicago Zoo?
I don't know.
Zoo.
You were looking it up and you go, it was free things to do, I guess. We're looking at all
No,
that.
I actually don't even think I looked up free.
No, totally. But
I was just like things to do, and even Kat told me. She was like, you gotta go to the zoo.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, it's free?
So, me and Laylee are both directionally challenged. It's the truth. But it's also like, okay, this is on another level of that, because it's like, we're also, I guess, don't find, like, you would think, oh, type in Chicago Free Zoo. Let's say. That's great keywords. Chicago Free Zoo, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we type that in, and immediately an address pops up. And we're like, perfect. And so we walk to this address, and so
we follow our GPS.
We walk there, and we get there, and we're like, oh, it's a cow.
Yeah. It's like a petting zoo. It's a petting zoo.
Oh, it's a chicken that's not there.
You guys didn't tell us.
So it's an empty cage of a chicken, which I don't even want to see. I don't give a fuck about that. So we just leave that day.
We're like, this is a petting zoo. They need to change their whole website description.
Right.
What is everyone talking about?
So it's attached to a really famous park there, though, called Lincoln Park. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone takes their weddings photos there.
Everybody.
So every Saturday we would go there, and I would Instagram the shit out of it, because I would see literally I'm like, how many people get married? Like, what are y'all doing?
What's the minimum?
So one day, you know, the city's to your right on the bridge, and I look to my left, and I'm like, oh shit, like the park, I guess, goes that way. We should check it out. But before we even do that, FYI, because we went to this park, I guess, like at least 3 times.
It was a pretty park.
Every Saturday we went there, but we went there because you wanted to take photos in that fucking hut thing.
Yeah, where everyone's taking their wedding photos.
Yeah,
I'm like, baby.
We had this random, I think they were Spanish, right?
I don't know, but definitely tourists.
Yeah, they weren't, like, not American.
They're visiting out of the country.
Yeah, and they were like, hey, do you guys know where the zoo's at? And I don't know, immediately I was like, yeah, it's right over there. And I pointed to the thing we went to, and I go, but FYI, it's like a fucking cow, and it's dumb as shit.
It's like a fucking cow.
So we also did this bullshit. Enjoy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that happened. All right, fast forward like maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're standing on the bridge, the famous bridge that everyone takes like photos on in Lincoln Park. And like I said, I look to the left, and I go, before I feel like we're about to leave, and I go, well, let's just walk that way.
Yeah, you were just like, let's walk that way.
Let's just explore. Okay. And so we walk, and we find the zoo finally.
The fucking zoo is real. Not the dumbass petting zoo we went to.
Not the petting zoo, the real zoo.
This was huge, guys.
It was so big.
It was a legit zoo.
So we walked there, and we're like, oh my God, we finally found it. And then the second thought was immediately like, what are the odds? Also, I just misdirected this foreign couple.
4 people. Like, I'm talking, there's like monkeys, tigers,
lions,
dolphins,
everything, whatever.
Sharks,
penguins,
aliens.
Aliens. Yeah, oh yeah, they got. They
have everything.
Yeah, and
we're like, damn,
this is amazing.
Oh, we fucked those people up, but we're so excited. And then like 2 hours later.
So, yeah, the whole time we kept going, this is amazing, this is amazing. Fuck, I wish I didn't tell these poor people the wrong way to go. And also say, fuck that, it's dumb, leave, you know. Right. And so the whole time I'm like, damn, man, I mean, I don't know how long they're there for, but I'm assuming a weekend.
A weekend.
And anyway, so the whole time we're thinking that, and then guess who we walked by like 2 hours later? The couple.
Literally.
And they see us
across from each other, making eye contact. And
well,
what does the guy say?
Well, I thought it was the girl.
What? Or the girl?
She was just like, honestly, I have no idea. I just was like, I was like, not even I was like, I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
Something snarky like, oh, you enjoying the zoo?
Yeah.
Something like that. They were like, fuck, we didn't do it on purpose at all.
Yeah.
Like, we've been here 2 weeks longer than you guys. We never made it to the real zoo. We thought it didn't exist.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this ever down the road, you already knew that, though. I will say they understood that because I was like, we didn't know. And the whole time we were thinking about y'all, but y'all found it.
I
Europeans,
just couldn't believe we found that.
Can I say that this is what I learned from that is that Europeans can figure shit out way better than fucking Americans. It took us like 2 weeks. And then me going, I don't know, let's go to the left.
Yeah.
They just were like, no. No.
They found it in the same day.
Yeah. It took us 2 weeks to find.
But we found it. And that was like a very Chicago thing to do. Everyone was telling us to do it.
But we found it.
We did. Poor people.
Yeah.
But what's another Chicago thing that like sticks out? Like, were there any kind of like stereotypes or things we discovered while being there? Because I feel like we always kind of like touch on that, you know?
Yeah, I think the first thing that we noticed was, being from LA, which also cleanses.
Where's this going?
It just cleanses us because we're better than everybody.
We're so healthy.
But everyone drank. Everyone drinks beer. Everyone drinks beer, time. No problem. Also, everyone, no matter the time of day, is drinking a coffee.
Yeah, that was what really struck me. Like, I'm like, yeah, drink up, woo! But I'm like, why are you drinking a coffee at 4 o'clock on a Sunday?
Like a big fucking coffee.
I'm very confused.
Or on any day of the like it's 8 p.m. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, but for real, like, what are you gonna go do?
To the point where I was like, this is like a photo op. They're all holding like a cup of coffee or like a cup of beer.
Yeah. Which means that everyone's pee in Chicago is just black. They are so dehydrated, even though they live right on the water.
Yeah.
They need to get better at that.
Yeah. So doesn't that go with kind of what they eat? Like what we were calling the Chicago diet?
Chicago, what is that?
It's definitely beer or coffee, and then like, pizza.
What is that?
The pizza.
Yeah.
The pizza.
Okay. What else?
The pasta.
Pasta. Italian.
The burgers.
Burgers. American.
The gyros. It was very American.
Which is the most Midwestern aspect of Chicago.
Yeah,
which
American
is like,
fine
they're
dining.
like, we like steakhouses.
Yeah, the steak. That's right.
We like to make pizza more unhealthy.
Make it 3 times as wide.
Yeah.
More like,
I fuck with it though. Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, Chicago deep dish is like, I don't even count it as pizza. I just count it as like amazing. Like, it's just good.
Yeah. No, it was amazing.
What's it called? I'm gonna say what I want to say, but what was it actually called? We call it Illuminati. Luminati. Yeah,
Luminati. So L-U space Minati.
Don't
like
go
Italian.
there. Don't go
Luminati.
there. Don't go there. I'm gonna shout over you until people hear this.
What's your fave?
What was the last place we went to?
If you don't got a name.
You know it though.
I know. I don't know. I'll find it because we have to go back and get the white pizza, white deep dish.
Yeah, you love the white.
I love the white.
Yeah, you do.
The white pizza. Yeah, it's amazing.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, Chicago had good American food. I will say that. Anything else you want to call it about Chicago?
I guess if there was going to be one last thing that I noticed was there's a lot of really tall white girls.
Really tall white people in general, but really tall white girls.
No, the dudes and the girls were like the same size, like 6'2". They're all 6'2".
Yeah.
A lot of big white. So we lived in LA. This is one thing that LA taught me was about like European families, and there's just big whites, big old whites. Yeah. They're all like just goofy big whites. And Chicago got that, but only in the young women. Not mothers. Like they're all like 23 and they're all 6'1". And I was like, you definitely play volleyball.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope they did.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God. Another thing I didn't talk about and what did we do is we loved riding bikes in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And we could ride it from our place in Old Town to Kat's place.
Yeah.
And it was the most beautiful bike ride ever. Like, I feel like we kept talking about, like, what's your favorite bike ride we've ever done? We're big into bike rides. Like, we love it. Chicago is high up there. No
doubt. We didn't ride it through the city necessarily, so I can't comment on that. But there's like a
by the
river,
lake. By the lake.
Yeah, by the lake. I mean, you know, everyone knows what it is.
That was stunning.
Were they city bikes?
Yeah, or whatever their equivalent is. But yeah, city bikes.
Dude, just
that are so cheap.
Cruising.
Like, jump on.
You can't be... It's like a jet ski. You can't be stressed on it. They're just
cruising. Because they're the electrical. So you don't even have to really bike.
No. Just like, you coast, which is, like I said, the best. No, it was unbelievable. We did that, like, the first weekend. So it's like we started from Lincoln Park and we rode all the way down to, like, the pier. Amazing.
Yeah. Another thing that we did.
Yeah.
We didn't do it, but it was Halloween weekend while we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
And all my friends came.
They did.
All our friends came.
Gas them up.
It was so fun.
Because Kat, FYI, on a smaller note, she's always trying to, like, coax people to Chicago, which they do come. You've been there for 4 times. Yeah. Anyway, but it's like
Why wouldn't she? It's an amazing city.
It's dope. It's just also, like, it's not... I don't know. There's a reason. It's like, it's dope. It's so dope. Chicago's awesome.
Yeah. But everyone came for Halloween, and we hosted the Halloween party, actually.
At our Airbnb.
At our fake Airbnb. Yeah, which was really fun, because I feel like you and me have never hosted something. Like, this is our place. Come here. And yeah, it was a great time.
It's pretty fun.
We had all these decorations from Amazon. Like, I was like... I don't live here. I'm trying to get the cheapest shit ever. Like, I don't want to keep any of these.
Yeah.
But I do want to close it out with, I feel like Chicago was a place we would live if it wasn't so freaking cold. You know? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think that falls?
I think it's like, even people that live there, definitely people that live there, understand, and they'll go, but it's really just
but it's kind of
January through March. No, no one's there. Literally no one that lives there says that. That's what I would say. It's like, it would be incredible, but apparently like 3 to 4 months out of the year, which is like, that's a quarter of the year.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
No, totally. I feel like it has a piece of my heart, and I love it, and I want everyone to go to Chicago. And thank you for listening to this episode.
Yeah, thank y'all.
And go to Chicago and go have a drink in the middle of the week like we are.
And go Braves. Woo!